Hello and welcome to this video about the Naim NAC D3-5 or CD 3.5, whichever way you want to call them, successor of a CD3 which had a single crown chip and CDM9 swing arm magnetic mechanism. These are no longer available, so the topology of the player is pretty similar. Huge transformer, two rectifiers, one for analog, one for digital supplies, number of regulators 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, so 12. So as you see, typical Naim machine. Other than the mech and the DAC, what they've done here is that they've supplied you with the input for external power supply, and then there is a shorting link there. So what happens is that if you insert that shorting link, I didn't get one, so I had to make one. It's basically, oh, what a calamity. So basically you get two top and two bottom pins shorted out to make this player go. And if you remove that plug, then the internal power supply only supplies the digital and servo sections, and analog supply comes in on the second socket from external power supply. As you see here, this is a FlatCap that matches that unit. I'm not using that because when I bought it I didn't get any cords, so I could make that one there because it's a standard DIN 4 pin, but the other ones are DIN 240 degrees, so I have plenty of DIN connectors but not 240 degree ones, which they're sort of not, the pins are not in the top half, but they're sort of spread more so around the circumference of the connector. So, but when I'm going to sell it, I'll sell it with that supply, unless somebody wants it without, or somebody else wants to supply. But anyway, enough of that. Let's come to the mechanism. What it uses is either CDM 12.5 or VAM 1205, which are, there's just a naming variation. On that it says VAM 1205. This is what was in there, and it was very interesting because the power, normally CD players run power around 100 microwatts. Those names ran at about 300 microwatts. Well, this was over 1 milliwatt. It was like 1.1 milliwatt. It was, 3 times the normal Naim power and 10 times, over 10 times more the normal CD player, but still wasn't going to read it. So my advice is, don't chase them VAM 1205s because they are very expensive, very rare, and they're not the original ones. They're made now. I'm like that one there. You see, I have original 1205 which is faulty, and that is made in 96, in May 96. That one there is made in 2000 and in 2020, 29th of August 2020, and it's just no good. I don't know how much the guy paid for this, but it isn't good. Now the difference between 12.4 and 12.5, or VAM 1204 or 1205, is the motor. The 1204 uses a standard Mabuchi motor, one like that, and the 1205 uses Haal Effect motor. And the reason they're not interchangeable is that the ribbon comes out of the Haal Effect motor and plugs in there. Now, what you're going to do when you get them is just flip that turntable off, and you have to do that anyway because the original turntable will not mate with the pack in that. Okay, remove the couple of screws which then become visible on the turntable. You can see them there, hopefully, or maybe not. and swap the motors, and you've thus converted the 12.4 to 12.5. So the 12.4 costs $35 and 12.5 sort of closer to 100. And 12.4s are actually good working units, plenty of those. So this is why, you see, this is why it's working. And mine actually was pretty dicey because the worm drive there that drives the black bit, or in mine was white bit, that there was very noisy. So I had to do a surgery and swap the motor as well. So it's original motor from 1205 there. So that's about all. But it's a bit of doing, but you know, not a rocket science. Just remember, stay away from 1205s and 12.5s and get an older unit and convert it. What else? With those things, it is pretty tricky to get that swing drawer going nicely. Well, in my case, whoever was playing with that before lost one of the washers that was going underneath there, and it would either hit the frame or would scrape the bottom. It just wasn't pretty. So what you got to do there is just make sure that the actual hinge is firmly in the hole there. Get it right by you know, trying if it works, but if it's perfectly vertical, it will just work fine. And then affix it in place by doing the other screw from underneath. Now in my case, without the washer, that wasn't possible. But say it is all mangled and holes are worn out and you're just not having any luck. What you got to do, and that's the hack for all these names, is that all is there is just a sticker, double-sided tape, to the front of that swing arm. So if you open it up, slightly wedge it out, you might need to replace double-sided tape on it. And once you get the thing going nicely, you know, the swing arm doesn't sort of scrape on either top or bottom, glue it back on so it's a nice gaps on all sides. And that's the hack I've learned to do, because some of them are really worn out. Few people had go at them, they didn't know what they were doing, and it's a hassle then to get it right. Well, that's all, folks, and the reason I worked that out was that I had two dead units, and I was making one out of the two, and they had different boards and different swing arms, and they just wouldn't fit inside, so I had to do adjustments. You know? Enough of my waffling, and till the next one. So if anybody wants Naim 3.5 or FlatCap supply, please let me know and I'll sell it to you. This goes very well, reads any disc, and you know, very nice and quick, you know, and track changes, you know, so it's all good. And it reads, you know, interruptions, data layer, and black dots, no problem at all. Cheers, and till the next one.